Welcome to part 2 of Animal Kingdom series. In this series, we'll go over the Phylum Ctenophora, Platy Aschelminthes, and the Phylum Aschelminthes. So if you remember from our last video, we went over some of the phylums. We did Porifera and Coelenterata, and Ctenophora, if you'll remember, I told you has this ball-like structure and tentacle-like structures from below. It looks like a jellyfish, but it is not a jellyfish. Jellyfish are cnidarians. Ctenophorans have property of bioluminescence, I've told you in your last video, and Platyhelminthes are also called as flatworms, and Aschelminthes are called sac worms. So starting with Ctenophora, Cteno in Greek means comb and phora means bearer. So Ctenophora literally means comb bearers. So why are they called comb bearer? Because their body bears 8 external row of ciliated combs. So the things that I will mark with red will be the prime distinguishing feature of that phylum, and the things that I will mark with yellow would be the general properties. So first of all, they are also known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, as I've told you, comb or sea walnuts. Remember the common names. They are exclusively marine. So if you will remember, Ctenophora were exclusively freshwater. These are exclusively marine. Remember the difference, as I've told you in the last chapter. They are radially symmetrical. We did this in our last video. They are radially symmetrical. They are diploblastic organisms. So that means they have 2 germ layers. Till Ctenophora, all the phylums will be diploblastic. Starting from Platyhelminthes, we will have triploblastic germ layers. They have tissue level of organization from Cnidaria itself. Tissue level of organization starts, so you must know this. Now one more distinguishing feature is that they show a property of bioluminescence. As I've told you in last episode, they show a property of bioluminescence. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. I've told you about extracellular and intracellular digestion in the last chapter. Now, as you know, bioluminescence is the property of a living organism. As you know, bioluminescence is the property of a living organism to emit light. Now, reproduction is only by sexual means, and sexes are not separate. That means they are hermaphrodite. So, Ctenophoras are hermaphrodite, and reproduction only takes place by sexual means. So, no asexual reproduction. Now fertilization is external with indirect development. Indirect development, that means larvae looks distinct from the adult, and external fertilization, as I have told you in the last video. For example, fishes show external fertilization. Similarly, ctenophorans also exhibit external fertilization. Now examples of ctenophorans will be Bluebarkia and Ctenoplana. Ctenoplana you can make out from the name Ctenophora, Ctenoplana. And Bluebarkia is one of the prime examples of Ctenophora. We have discussed this in the last episode as well. Next, Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. So platy in Greek means flat, and helminthes means worms. So Platyhelminthes means flat worms. Their distinguishing feature is that they have a dorso-ventrally flattened body. This is their first distinguishing feature. Next, they are mostly endoparasites. What are endoparasites? Parasites have 2 types, endoparasites and ectoparasites. Ectoparasites are like ticks or bedbugs, which don't go inside your body. They suck nutrients from outside the body surface. And endoparasites, they mostly go inside the body and then suck resources. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and acoelomate animals. As I've told you, Ctenophoras were radially symmetrical and diploblastic. Platyhelminthes are bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. Bilateral symmetry and triploblasticity starts after Platyhelminthes. So all the phylums after Platyhelminthes will have bilateral symmetry and triploblasticity. You should remember that these are also acoelomate organisms, Platyhelminthes. They have organ level of organization, so they have organs. One more distinguishing feature of Platyhelminthes is hooks and suckers. So they have hooks and suckers which help them act as parasite. Some of them absorb nutrients directly through the body surface. So as it is already written, they are mostly endoparasites. Some of them are also ectoparasites. Now they have specialized cells called flame cells, which they help them in osmoregulation and excretion. You will read more about this in your excretion chapter in human physiology, but right now, just to give you an idea, and you can note them down, few organisms have flame cells which are used for excretion and osmoregulation. Examples of such organisms will first of all be Platyhelminthes, because we have, of course, Platyhelminthes, we have read it in this chapter itself, and two more, rotifers and nematodes. So remember it like this: F, flame cells; Platyhelminthes, P; nematodes, N; and rotifers, R. So P and R. P and R have flame cells. Remember it in this manner: P and R, flame cells, Platyhelminthes, nematodes, and rotifers. Now, first of all, these are also hermaphrodite organisms because sexes are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development is through many larval stages. So they have larval stages of development just like Ctenophora, but the difference between them and Ctenophora is that fertilization is internal, unlike Ctenophora which has external fertilization. Now some members like Planaria possess high regeneration capacity. This is an extra fact. If you'll remember, it will be good. Now these are the examples: Taenia, tapeworms, and Fascicola, liver flukes. These also act as pathogens. Okay, tapeworm is a well-known malagent, and Fascicola, also known as liver fluke. You should know how to identify. So this is a liver fluke, and this is a tapeworm. Coming to next phylum, it's Aschelminthes. Aschelminthes, Asche means sac in Greek, and helminthes means worm. So Aschelminthes literally means sac worms. So they look like sac. So Aschelminthes. Don't confuse Aschelminthes with annelids. Okay, annelids means round worm. Aschelminthes means sac worm. They have sac-like structure. Don't confuse it with annelids. Annelids means segmented bodies, because their bodies are segmented. So one of the examples of Aschelminthes is roundworms. Body of Aschelminthes is circular in cross section. You can remember it from ascae, sac-like roundworms. They are free living, aquatic, and terrestrial or parasitic in animals and in plants and animals. Very basic. Roundworms have organ system level of organization. We saw that organ system level of organization started from flatworms. They are bilaterally symmetrical. This again started from Platyhelminthes. They are triploblastic. This again started from Platyhelminthes. What starts from here is coelom. So they are the only phylum in the animal kingdom which are pseudocoelomate. Okay, before this there were acoelomates. After this there are coelomate organisms. So these are pseudocoelomate organisms. Next, alimentary canal is complete. So that means digestive system is complete. There are two openings. It has a well developed muscular pharynx. An excretory tube removes waste from the body cavity. An excretory tube removes body waste from the body cavity through an excretory pore. As we have seen, digestion is complete. Now for the first time, sexes are separate, which means they are not hermaphrodite. Males and females are distinct. And one more property, that females are longer than males. So females are longer than males. Next, fertilization is internal and development may be direct or indirect. So fertilization is internal, which started from Platyhelminthes, and development may be direct or indirect. Okay, so you need not remember any specific fact, just that fertilization is internal. Now examples are Ascariasis, which means roundworms, Wucheria, which means filaria worm, and Ancylostoma, which means hookworm. So first of all, for this example, you have to remember Ascarius as roundworm. As I have told you, Asca in sac, Asca means sac in Greek. So Ascarius, sac worm or roundworm. Wucheria as filarial worm. So you will learn it in your human health chapter in 12th standard that Wucheria bancrofti is a well-known mal agent. Wucheria bancrofti causes filariasis. So filarial worm. What is filariasis? Filariasis means elephant foot. You must have heard about this. You must remember this from your 10th grade itself. Filariasis, elephant foot caused by Wucheria. So filarial worm. Next, encyclostoma. So stoma is used as a word for mouth. Stoma means mouth. Encyclostoma means round mouth. So hookworms. Remember it has round mouth. And hookworms. Hookworms, as you know, they will have a hook-like structure in their mouth. Hence, encyclostoma, mouth, hookworms. This concludes this very easy and very small 3 basic phylums. In next video, in next part, we will do 3 important phylums of annelids, which are segmented worms, arthropoda and mollusca. Both of these 3 are very important phylums and require much more time. Thanks for watching and all the best.